welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and this is my channel where I talk about all my quilty stitchy things. And this is my weekly update, number 87, and it is November 17th, 2024. So this is where I talk about everything I've worked on and completed throughout the week, and it's been a week. So I quilted something on the long arm this week. I finished a quilt top. I worked on about 6 other quilt projects. I finished sewing my 9-patch cross stitch series pillows together, plus a whole bunch of other things. So this is the quilt top I finished. Now normally I start with what I quilted, if I quilted anything, but I want that quilt to hang up through the rest of the video. So we're going to start with the quilt top I finished. Now this is called, let me see, I forget. Blocky Block is the name of the pattern. It's right here. Now this I actually got from Polar Fabrics, and it's basically a bundle of fabric that has 5 1-yard cuts of fabric in it, and then you pick whatever pattern you want, and that was the pattern I chose. Now I do apologize if you can hear the noise in the background. The dishwasher's going running. But I gotta record when I can record, right? So there's that. We'll go ahead and take a closer look at it. So there's a look at the top. We're just going down. Going over. So that is the quilt top. It's all finished. So I did get something quilted on the long arm. Let's hang it up, take a look at it. So this is what I had on the long arm this week. Now this is my Lori Holt Mercantile Quilt Seeds quilt. There's 6 of these. And I put them all together in one quilt. So according to the pattern, this quilt measures 70.5 by 87.5, so we'll go that for the size. Now for the quilting pattern, I chose a pantograph that had like bobbins and spools of threads and thimbles and needles in it. I think they're a little hard to see even if we go up close, but we'll go take a look at it and try to see them. So we're starting at the top. There's the top, working our way down. Go over to the sides. And I can see a spool of thread right there. Start to see a needle right there. There's a bobbin. And I just saw a thimble right there. Now on my border fabric, I didn't have enough to use the same border all the way around. So even though it's the same color, my side borders and my bottom borders are different fabrics. Let's see if I can bring this up and I'll show you. See, it's a little bit different, but that's okay. It just goes to the scrappiness of it anyway. All right, let's look at the back. And there's a look at what I put on the backing. Of course, the quilting doesn't really show up well, but that's okay. So that quilt just needs some binding and it's all done. So I had worked on piecing 6 different other quilts this week. We'll show you what those are. So I worked on this Creative Notions subscription box. Now these are from quite a while ago, but this is the square and a square and a square tabletop or wall hanging. So I worked on this. So I have these rows pinned together. We got this. Now I still got my pins. So that would be the top row. This is the middle row. This is the third row. And again, all those rows have pins in them. I still have to sew them, but when I sew them, I'll do like a web piecing because that's always how I do things. And then I can finish sewing the middle of that all together. And then just add the borders. So that's where I am on that. And I worked on another Creative Notions box from a while ago. And let me show you the picture here of what I'm working on. I'm working on this. Now this was actually an alternate pattern that came in this particular subscription box. The original pattern was some English paper piecing, hexie type things, and I didn't want to do that. So I saw this and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Now I did have to add some of my own fabric, the background of course, and then this will be from my stash. But I've been working on that. So let me show you where we're at. So I have these units made, which are, if you take a look at the blocks, this, because if you look at that as a 9 patch, these are those blocks right here. This. And then the center of those little 9 patch units are these. Now I've got pins in those, I still have to sew those down. Sew those down and then I can start assembling those 9 patch units. So that's where I am on that. I worked on that. Let me put these up and I'll show you the other ones I worked on. So I worked on a couple sampler patterns. This is the one I worked on, Sail Away. Let's see, and this is from, if I can find it, that's from July of 2022. And basically, I just have to add borders on this. I've got the side borders pinned, and then I have the top and bottom border I have to put in. This isn't very big either, but there it is. That one's almost done. And I worked on another sew sampler project. Let me pull that one out here. Have to get ready to fall. Okay, I worked on this winding path pattern. Now this is using a Tula Pink line of fabric, Tiny Beast. So, not really a lot to show you yet. Kind of got these units going. They're penned, so, you know, the 2 patch. Kind of did some stitch and flips. And a bunch of those. Let's see. Bunch of those together. And then I've got some stitch and flip units over here with just the squares. So those are ready to go to the sewing machine. So I'm not very far along on that yet. I think I'll get to it. And let me grab the other 2 projects I worked on for quilting. So I worked on this sew sampler project too. This is the Buzz quilt pattern. This is using the Bead Plaids by Lori Holt. And the 9 patches, they've already been done. They've been done for a while. And let's see, I can do it like this. This is the right wing for those bees. Now they are still penned, so I do have to finish sewing them. My right wing. My left wings. And let's see. And this will be the bee's body. So those are my bees I've been working on. I worked on that. Right. And that sew sampler box is from April of 2022. So, since I finished a quilt top this week, I had to pull out another pattern. And I started working on this, which I showed on my Rediscovering My Stash series. This is the Blue Diamonds quilt. Started working on this, and this is from Quilt by Color book by Susan Aki. So I worked on that, but of course I have completely different fabrics. The fabrics that I use are batiks, and some that aren't batiks, they're more cottons, but they kind of have a batik look. So there's not a lot to show yet because I just cut it out. But here's a look at kind of the colors. The blues, the blue, greens, yellows, grays that I'm looking. So this still has a long way to go because I just cut it out and just pinned the first few steps together. All right, so that is everything that I've worked on as far as quilting. Let's move on to what I did in cross stitch. So looky what I got done. I got all of my 12 pillows that I just knocked knocked Christmas out, December. Got all of my 12 9 patch pillows, cross stitch pillows. Got all of them done. So yes, I just had to finish sewing, let's see, November and December. So last week, my giveaway was for the September, this one, the crows and the sunflowers. And my winner is Carrie Steele 6191. Again, Carrie Steele 6191. Now, Carrie, you don't need to do anything because I know you won something a couple months ago and I still have your email. So I will put this in the mail probably tomorrow and get it to you. So that means that is September. So now we're going to go to October's. So this is my giveaway for today. Let's see. If you want to win this, let's put, well, there's candy corn there. Let's just say candy. Just put candy down in the comments down below. C-A-N-D-Y. And I'll pick a winner next week. Now, you do have to live in the U.S. in order to enter this and be 18 or over because I will be asking for a shipping address. So there is that. And once I announce my winner, you have a week to claim your prize. Otherwise, I'm just going to give it to the following week's winner. So that is my October's. Once again, Carrie, you don't need to do anything. I'll send this in the mail tomorrow. Okay. So I worked on that. Then I had started working on the Simply Sayings. I'd already shown you that I'd finished January and February. So I'm working on March's. This is March. And I'll show you my progress. Not a lot. There's my progress on March so far. I just finished all the green and I got that orange ready to go, that down in his beard. But let me show you what else, because I fully finished some cross stitch items here and I made a couple little ornaments. So remember me stitching these? So I made them into ornaments I can put on the tree. So those are done. Made those. And when I was going through my Rediscovering My Stash video and I was going through things, I found some embroidery things that are just sitting there. So I found this one. So I just found it was the embroidery piece. So I went ahead and made it into a pillow. It says needle nest. I think it was supposed to be like a needle book, but I made it into a pillow. Stick my needles there. Probably stick it up there with the other stuff up there somewhere. I don't really use pin cushions. However, all of my embroidery things that I'm about to show you came in kits, so I have a bunch of needles, so I can put all the needles in there, I guess, and put it up there. So these are some of the other embroidery things that I found when I was going through my stuff that I did. And I have this one. Faith plants the seed, loves makes it grow. Now this actually can be turned into a little more of a wall hanging. I might put together and make it a pillow. There we go. So there's that. And then I found these little ones. They're all the same thing that I had done, that I'd stitched. And oops, I'm about ready to knock my crochet thread off. And there's a little rose mini quilt you can put it into. There you go, which I would probably end up making it into a pillow. I don't think it's 19 by 27 quilt. I think I'd probably just make it into a pillow. All right, so those are those. And let's move on, show you where I'm at on my crochet project. So this is what I'm working on. It's called a progressive tunic, but it's more like a tank top because it doesn't have sleeves. And this is from the Curvy Girl Crochet magazine. So here's where I am. Now mine does not have the stripes. I'm doing it all in the one color. I'm holding crochet thread together. Well, I'm holding two different colors of crochet thread together to make this. And I will show you where I am. I'm not very far. But since this is crochet thread, it's going to take me a little while to get there done. Now, when I started making this, it was coming a little big. So I tore it all down, got a smaller hook size, and I went down the size in the pattern. It's still coming out big, but we'll see. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. This is the back. As you can see, I just started decreasing there for some armholes. There. So that's where I am. This is the back. And we'll see. May work, may not. Who knows? But we're going to give it a try. Okay. Now, this is the first time I've actually ever used crochet thread. But it's working out. I think there was a couple adjustments I made to the pattern along the way just because it didn't really make sense to me. So I did make just a couple adjustments, not many. And let me show you my diamond painting. All right. Now there's a look at the picture. I know it's not very big for you to see. What it's supposed to look like. And here's where we're at. This is called 4th of July. There's the top. Over here, there's the bottom. Alright, and this came from Craftably, which is a diamond painting company that's no longer in business. Alright. So that's where I am on that. Okay, so that is everything I have worked on, completed throughout the week. We'll have to see what next week brings. Until next time.